I'm Jason Scudellari.
And I'm Evan Perkins. We have 1 week to take this 67 Chevelle from stock to a pro touring machine. This is Week to Wicked. CPP Week to Wicked, presented by Axalta, is a 1 week thrash fest where we decided to see how fast we could build a pro touring car. The car is behind me, it's up on the lift, it's day one, we're ripping it down to a shell, and we're gonna see how fast we can change the steering, suspension, brakes, engine, and all of the necessary upgrades to really make this car handle just into a true pro touring car.
Right now I'm getting the linkage off, the fuel line off, unplug the clutch, kick back all this wiring here, so we can get the carburetor off so we can put the motor plate on there and yank the engine out.
It's 11 o'clock here in the tech center. We've been at this for about 3 hours. We've seen tons of parts come off the Chevelle already. We've got suspension, it's all out of the car. So Jason and the guys are working on the engine, getting that ready to pull out. So we're gonna check in with them and see what's left.
Yeah, we got Christian over here just kind of getting some loose wires out of our way. We had Mike pulling off the linkage so we can pull the steering column out. We got all the bracketry off the engine from the accessories. We're trying to get everything out so we're not, bumping and banging the core support, the firewall, the inner wheel wells. The easier this thing comes out, it is a big block, the better we're off.
Very cool. So if you kind of pan around the car here, you can see that there's no front suspension. Everything's gone. We're floating on the engine hoist here. It is a hover Chevelle for the moment. Again, axle's already out of the car, and we've got it right over here with the team from CPP prepping it for their big brake kit. So what are you guys doing right now on the axle?
Right now we're just getting it stripped down, removing all the bushings, trailing arm bushings, got the axles pulled, removed all the drum brakes, even the hard brake lines. So we're gonna replace literally everything from the bushings, the trailing arms, the bump stops, all new brakes, all new brake lines. It'll be a complete overhaul of the rear end.
Very cool. So this is, being that this is a Chevelle, it is a factory 4-lane car, so some of these bushings are a little bit hard to press out, hence the giant C-clamp right here. And they're definitely, nothing is getting overlooked here. I mean, they are putting new bushings everywhere, every nut and bolt, and this thing is gonna be a shining gem of a rear end by the time we're done. In the background here, you can see just how much we've already taken off the car.
As you can see, we got a ton of parts here, from the radiator to suspension parts to brake parts, the battery, the master cylinder, springs, pipes, transmission, gas tank. We've got the whole car sitting here.
I mean, you can literally see this is what was our Chevelle about 3 hours ago is all out here on this tarp, and we're getting pretty close to being able to put the car back together.
Let's get this motor out and we're gonna start all over and start getting this thing back together.
And hopefully everything goes back in about as fast as it came out. We've been hitting the Chevelle pretty hard for about 3 hours now. As you can see, almost all of the car is stripped down. It's starting to look less and less like a Chevelle.
Basically, all we have left now is some wiring. We're gonna rewire the entire car now that we got the LS with the factory computer. So we will pull out all the wiring from front to rear of the car, start installing parts. All right, so today we're gonna change out the old stock rubber bushings with the Energy urethane bushings. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Boom. Let's go to this one. All right, to get this tank installed, we're gonna have to install a few fittings. These are MPT 2-6.
Okay.
So we'll install those into the pump. We got a return and a pressure side.
So these are NPT, just so if somebody wanted to use a stock fuel system,
Yep.
they got a mechanical pump, go either way.
Yep, little Teflon tape just to ensure a seal.
So push lock, get it right once because it doesn't really come off. This is hard.
Yeah.
This is really hard.
Heat this up real quick, Chris, and we'll see if this one will work.
Toasty.
All right, so we got the tank, the lines, the regulator, filter, everything installed. All that's left is to hook the feed line up to the fuel rail once we install the engine and trans.
It's day 2 of Week to Wicked. We had a really good day yesterday. We got a lot done. Jason, what's on the schedule for today?
Well, man, if we can get the front and rear suspension done, brakes, have it plumbed, and get that engine in, I think we're off to a second great day.
That's a lot of work. Let's get started.
Okay. Danny, what do you want to do next? Spindle first or shock?
Probably the shock feature.
Yeah, as long as I can get all. Oh yeah, I can do that. There's a cool little thing about it. This got thrust bearings on it. What that's going to allow you to do is adjust the coil with it under load. You're not going to have to take any preload off it. It just makes your deal a lot easier. And these are actually they come with the CPP kit. It's time now to install our spindle and brake package. As you can see, there's quite a big difference here. We got an 11-inch rotor here and a big 13-inch rotor here. We also go from a single piston caliper to a dual piston caliper. These spindles are also available by themselves to fit your package, but we're gonna use this all as one package, which is kind of cool because it comes like this. All you gotta do, put it over the ball joint, and you're ready to rock. Boom, boom, boom. Once these guys are done here, I can load up the control arm, pop on the top spindle to the ball joint. Simple as that. All right, that's everything you're gonna need for your steering, except for your steering column. That will come in last.
All right, we finished up with the front suspension. Let's get the rear suspension under the car so we can get the engine in and move right along with this build.
All right, cool. Now that we got the front end all wrapped up, it's time to start the rear. We've got the disc brakes all installed. What did we do to the rear besides just putting the disc brakes on?
Well, we plumbed it. We got a hardline kit with brackets. Maybe it's easier to see it if we turn it real quick. We've got the coilover bracket.
What are our advantages of going to this coilover bracket?
Well, what's nice is it's adjustable in ride height. We can change spring rates. You can change the shock valving. There's going to be compression and rebound adjustment right on the bottom of the shock.
Okay.
Fine-tune your ride.
And this is all part of the kit. Lines, hard lines, calipers, I mean, the whole shebang.
The only thing it doesn't include is brake fluid. This is our trailing arm reinforcing bracket. Yep. Basically, it ties the upper link into the lower link of the frame on both ends. Makes a nice triangle out of the whole unit.
Got to add a bunch of
very
strength.
Strong, yeah, absolutely.
Cool, so now we got the whole rear end all bolted in. We're gonna use Vikings coilovers. We use these front and rear. They are adjustable, 18 different positions, rebound and compression.
Start this impossible bolt.
So we'll install the rear sway bar and just make sure everything's tight and aligned and ready to go. Pull this thing in. Bring that end around. Jack it in. Keep coming. Dan, does it look like it's got to go your way, or? Okay, keep going.
The 427 Cube LS3 stroker is in, and it looks good to see that thing in there. So we finally got the motor in, and we've got a lot done today. Pretty much everything that we needed to bolt onto the car is bolted on, but now it looks like you're gonna have to do some fabrication.
Yeah, I got to make something for the computer and the fuse panel to mount that to the inner wheel well. Also, I got an air raid kit that I got to do the cold air induction. I got to mount the mass airflow sensor to that. Got some power steering lines. And then once we get to there, we got a radiator, fans to mount, but we are getting close.
Gotcha. So tomorrow we'll probably get to a little bit more of the wiring. We got Jeff here from Painless, so luckily we got an expert here. So
Jeff from Painless will make this painless for us.
it's day 3 of Week to Wicked. We had a really good day yesterday. We got a lot of the big stuff in the car. That means we got a motor, we got a suspension, brakes, and the wheels are actually supposed to show up today, so we can get the car on the ground for the first time. Anybody that's ever built a project knows that the big stuff goes pretty quick. There's still a lot of little things to do. The clock is ticking. We've still got a lot left on the table.
All right. Boom. There you go, Luis. So looks like the front sway bar's going in, huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Now, the size of the sway bar, is it an aggressive bar, or is it a streetable bar?
This is an 1 1/8" sway bar, which makes it very streetable, but it's much more firm than the original. It's a lot larger than the original bar, so you're going to get a lot more roll resistance. You're going to feel more stable. Once the body tries to roll over, it'll stop the body from rolling over.
Now the bushings that you're using, are they urethane, or are they rubber?
These are a Poly Plus bushing. It has grease channels actually in the bushing.
Okay.
So that when you grease it, there's a grease zerk in the billet bracket we're about to put on in a moment.
That's what I was going to ask you next. So the bracket itself does have a zerk.
The channels kind of capture the grease. It's almost like a grease seal. So it's well lubed up on the inside without making a big mess. And we started by putting a little grease in the bushing to begin with, so it already started off lubricated, so I can sit here and pump grease.
Cool.
To begin with.
So installation on the rear sway bar is about to begin. It's much different than the front. Danny's going to walk us through it, starting off with the axle mounts.
Yeah, these are our billet axle clamps. They're going to wrap around the axle, which is going to be step 1. It helps to hold it right side up. These go underneath the brake lines and around the axle. Then there's going to be a secondary bracket. It's going to go into place below it, and we're going to go to the front and connect it up there. So in just a moment, we'll get this lined up.
Okay.
Inside? Is it inside?
So we're changing a lot of stuff in this car in a very short period of time. A lot of parts coming together, and we found our first little problem. The wheels don't clear the control arms, but Danny came up with a really good idea. We're gonna take the ball joint out from underneath the arm, move it to the top. That's gonna drop the arm a little bit on the camber curve and give us a little bit of wiggle room. All right, the clock's ticking. We've only got a little bit of time left to put this whole car together, get it fired up, get it, roadworthy. So we're really trying to get this done quickly and make sure the wheels fit and get the project back on schedule. So right up here, this is the section of arm that was rubbing against the wheel, but by moving the ball joint, we were able to fix that, and we've got clearance for our new American Legend wheels now.
All right, time to install our transmission. The LS is putting out over 600 horsepower, so we are going to be using the 4L80. Fully electronic, computer controlled. It's the right deal for this combination. Go. Cool thing about the CPP motor mounts, I know I've covered this before, but you can slide the engine front to back, and now that we have the transmission going in, we can fine tune that and get it exactly where we need it. Now that we got the transmission bolted to the motor, we can come back here, do the motor mount, the cross member, and then come back and bolt up the torque converter to the flex plate. Well, Guess it wouldn't be wicked without blood, right?
Right now we ran into a little problem. Nothing major, we can fix it. The torque converter isn't sitting flush with the flex plate, so let's see what we can do.
Oh, no, I haven't. Because the converter was already in the tranny. I never took it out.
I don't know
if the register was different.
Yeah, I don't know if it was different or not.
All right, got it.
So what's this one?
Got the right flex plate.
So this is the one with the offset to give us that 1/2 inch we needed?
Yeah. So
Perfect.
what we kind of learned today is there's 2 different types of LS flex plates. One of them has an offset, one of them doesn't. Usually the ones with the offset come with the trucks. Since this is an LS3 base motor, it had the flat flex plate. What Performance Automatic includes to make it work is this spacer. Works great, it pushes the flex plate out to let it mate with the torque converter, but you have to have long enough bolts to bolt it on, which we didn't have on hand.
And
So
they're an M8 bolt. You can't just get them at your hardware store. You got to specially order them, so.
yeah, really hard to find bolts. So something to know, have that ready. So we jetted off to Guarantee Chevrolet, got the right flex plate. Now we're ready to bolt the 4L80 in.
Christian, get this other side. Top one.
All right, with the Flex-Lite radiator fan, the fan came pre-mounted from the factory. And this particular unit came with universal 90-degree brackets on there, with which the team here lined up with the factory bolt holes on the upper part. But on the lower part, they needed to drill holes through the core support to line up with the bracket. So they've gone ahead and done all of that already. Now they're dropping it into place. And they're going to make use of the slotted T-channels in the radiator core support to slide the mounting brackets up and down so they can mount the radiator at exactly the height that they want.
We're officially 3 days into the Week to Wicked Chevelle build. We've got a ton done today. We've got the trans in the car. And Jason, what else did we get done?
Sway bars are mounted, the torque converter's locked down, drive shaft's back in, got the radiator, all the plumbing finished up, hydro stop is all plumbed. We're moving along.
And if you hadn't noticed, the car's on the ground. We got some new wheels on it. Everything is looking great, and we're getting really close to a road trip. So the clock is ticking on this build. We've only got a little bit more time to get everything together, get it fired, and get it ready for the road. So we've got a lot of work to do, and we're gonna hit this hard in the morning. It's Thursday of the Week to Wicked build. We've been at this all week long. Got a lot done on the car. We got a lot more to do. Jason, what do we have before this thing will fire up and rock?
We got Jeff here from Painless Wiring, and we got a whole lot of wiring to do, from front to back. We also have a standalone computer for the engine itself that needs to be wired in, and we got an exhaust system to put on. But I think we're in really good shape. I think at the end of the day, we'll get a lot of that wiring handled, and we're gonna be looking pretty good.
We got a lot left to do before the week runs out. This is Week to Wicked.
We need to pull the sill plate and pull the carpet so we can pull the old rear wiring out of it.
Well, in order to get this wiring done a little easier, we're gonna pull the stock seats out, but we do have a new set of Pro Car seats going on in.
Okay, so because we're going to put a larger capacity fuse block in the 67 Chevelle from Painless Performance, part number 20103, our muscle car harness, we're actually going to have to cut out this hole slightly. So in our catalog or in the manual that comes with the harness, it actually has a template, and what I've done is I've cut that template out and I've surrounded it with, around the perimeter with masking tape, and I can hold it up here on the firewall and figure out where I need to cut it out. So right now, I'm going to cut the insulation pad slightly, trim it, and then we're going to come in here with an air saw and actually open the hole up so this fuse block fits properly.
We got our wiring going on in the back right now. We got our new gauges from Dakota Digital over here. We got our old gauges with the dash over here. As you can see, the old gauges are still in. We're about to remove the old gauges and get the new gauges in. Now that we got the old backing plate out with all the gauges in there, as you can see, we're not going to use this anymore, so we're going to set this aside. But what we are going to use is this chrome plastic piece here. All right, everything's nice and snug. Let's check it out.
Okay, so what we got here is a universal air intake system, something that I can actually plug in my MAF sensor for our GM LS3. Let's get this started. First cut will be right here. Coupler, 4-inch pipe. See it, Maria? We're a little tight on our fans. I was a little worried about that. Turn our gases on. Taking some layers off of it. Oh yeah, that's gonna work, I think. Christian, give me a thing of water. Yeah, it's still real hot, so let's go. Water. Oh yeah, that's gonna work. Cool thing, Christian cleans the shop in here, so it's there we go. As you can see, we cleared that area out. Not by much, but enough to clear it.
It's day 4 7/8-ish of the Week to Wicked build. We've been here since the early hours of the morning. Christian's been busting his butt on this thing. We've only got 1 day left to put the car together. So we attempted to wire it in a day. We had Jeff Abbott here from Painless Performance. He was a huge help. He's a wiring ninja, but we still have a lot of work to do on the car. It's not quite wired. There's a few more loose ends we got to button up. And I'm looking forward to doing a burnout tomorrow. We're here early on day 5 of Week to Wicked. The clock is running out. We've got just a little bit more time to put this car together. We're all operating on minimal sleep. We've had plenty of caffeine. And we're gonna hit this hard today because, like I said, we've got only a few hours to get this car running and driving.
All right, let's go get some stuff, man. Yeah, we're going to McFadden right now, so that's our main place where we get our nuts, bolts that we don't have in the shop. You know, pipe threading stuff and anything else that we need, we can go there. We're picking up some parts for the radiator. We need a bar coming out of a certain fitting so we can tap into it. We need to go get some oil filter. An oil filter from the parts store. Getting back to the shop now and we're getting this wrapped up. So time's ticking. Still got a little bit to go. All right, so now it's finally time to get the dash back in there with the new gauges. Jeff from Painless is here to help me out, so let's get this going. Just getting two of the switches back in there makes it a lot easier than trying to reach under the dash and trying to connect them.
All right, here's the headlight switch. Let's plug in the wiper switch here.
All right, guys, so there you have it. Check out those new gauges. Those things look bitchin'.
Yeah, those look awesome.
Those look nice. All right, so we already got everything hooked up here, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so all we need to do is hit that switch for the lights and we should be done here.
Yeah, we're almost ready for the steering column.
Awesome.
All right, we got the guys back from CPP and we're ready to install the steering column. steering shaft, rag joint. Dan, you got a couple different options here.
We do. We got a regular OE style of steering shaft, intermediate shaft. This is collapsible, much like the OE. And then we have our max clearance shaft, much smaller, looks a whole lot nicer under the hood. So I think we're going to go with the smaller one. It looks way cleaner, gives you a lot of header clearance, especially on a big block car, which this was, which looks really nice. Painted the column black, so it all looks nice. Going to reuse the original floor mount and then the under dash mount, and we got your new steering wheel and everything you need to make the horn work, and we're all done.
You guys can start with this one.
Let's try this.
Everything's good, in the right spot. You can check that shifter. It's working.
Pulling up and down. We didn't hit the engine.
Luis, good job.
Thank you.
Well, I'm happy to say we're finally putting exhaust on the car. For most of you, you should know if you're putting exhaust on the car, you're almost done. We were lucky enough to have CPP have a 66 Chevelle, which we brought over to Muffler Man, where Lee fabbed up a whole kit for us, so it's time to put it on. Muffler Man absolutely killed it. I mean, it's tucked up real tight.
This looks really clean, Jason. I can't wait to hear how it sounds because it looks really good.
It's time to install the billet hinges from Eddie Motorsport. The hinges come with the gas charge strut, all the hardware you need. It's a pretty simple deal, so I'm gonna hand this off to Christian so he can get that started. One more thing I'd like to cover is the S-Drive. That is their billet pulley system. It comes with everything. All the pulleys, the AC, the alternator, the power steering, the water pump, all the brackets, all the hardware. It's a really clean look. Okay. Now that the hinges are bolted to the car, it's time to bolt the hood to the hinges. Still good. Got a lot of room right now.
A big gap over here.
With the adjustability of the hinges, the gaps are perfect.
Looks like we found a little last minute wiring issue. We don't have a fuel pump or throttle body movement yet, so we're just kind of looking under the dash and seeing what's going on, and we're gonna figure it out hopefully pretty soon.
There's a bunch of,
How many pinks do you
there's a
want?
ton of pink wires in here.
Just gonna spray gas if everything's right. Watch for gas.
Ain't cycling now.
Yeah, and this one is
6 gallons.
We need a high and a low reference for that thing to go through.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Worst
We may
case
have to
is
just disconnect everything.
just grab the purple wire off there if you kept the car.
We're running a new wire from the keyed on source, which we found right here was perfectly hot when you turn the key.
good step
And we're
one.
going to junction it into this bulkhead fitting on the back side of the computer, and that's going to kind of circumvent the problem.
All right, guys, are we ready?
It's day 5 of Week to Wicked. We made you a promise. The Week to Wicked Chevelle is done. We built it in a week like we said we would, and now it's time to hit the road on a 1,000-mile road trip to Arizona. I'd like to introduce John, my video guy. John, get over here. John is going to be coming with me. We're going to take this thing 1,000 miles through Arizona and see if it makes it. Let's do it. Arizona, here we come.
Better, boys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spark plugs are on their home.
Cool deal.
It's the fuel pressure regulator. So it's generating everything the pump has, which is flooding the motors. The whole tune-up is based on a 50 PSI fuel tune.
I'm gonna leave that filter in place and just put a regulator after it so we can regulate the fuel pressure.
That's fine, that'll work great. So the entire fuel tune-up is based on 50 PSI. Right now the engine's generating like 150 PSI. It's actually looping the gauge around, so we're gonna put a fuel pressure regulator on it so it doesn't do that anymore.
There's the problem right there. Cameras never stop rolling around here, do they?
Sounds a lot better. All right, guys. Take 2. We just got to West Tech Performance. We had a few little teething problems in the morning. Fuel regulator let go, so we had about 150 PSI at the fuel rails instead of the 60 that we should have. So we swapped out the fuel regulator, we got it on the highway. It drives pretty nice, but we could use a little fine tuning. So we're gonna see what kind of horsepower it makes, and then we're gonna get on the road for Arizona. So we're here, we're strapped to the dyno, and we're gonna make a pull and see what kind of numbers the car puts down. All right, Eric, it sounded good. What are we looking at on the screen here?
We're looking at just about the exact same numbers, give or take 1 foot-pound and 0.4 of a horsepower. So that's really, really repeatable.
So
really nice to see.
a really consistent 450 horsepower and 424.9 pound-feet of torque.
Correct. Very repeatable.
Very cool. Well, it sounds great. We're gonna put it on the road and head out to Arizona. We just put the car in the dyno. It made 450 horsepower to the tires. It runs infinitely better. It doesn't die in gear. It starts up hot. It's smooth. We got our speedometer working. We had a tach, not quite anymore, but that's a problem for another day. It's running great, and it's time to get on the 10 and turn east toward Arizona.
Half no feet, no air. The windshield wipers don't really work. It's an adventure. Yeah, five more hours to go.
We've been listening to the melancholic whine of the wipers for the last 45 minutes on their single speed, and just trying to keep visibility good and chase the car in front of us. We probably should have updated the headlights because they're not very bright, but so far so good. We got our gauges working again. We forgot to plug in the OBD2 cord after the dyno session. We're gonna stay the course and keep on this for about 4 more hours till we get to Arizona.
Staying awake.
Today we're gonna stop by Hot Rods by Dean and just kind of... Where's that coming from? Huh. Oh, that's something else to look at. All right, well, we'll check that out when we get to Dean's and see why it's leaking gas. Okay, good. We just pulled up to Hot Rods by Dean. We're gonna get the car in the air, just kind of give it the once over, make sure everything's okay, and then we're gonna get it back on the road. Runs great, starts hot, starts cold now. It's not kicking down. On the highway, it doesn't kick down. So I put 450 to the tire, and when you stand on it on the freeway to pass somebody, I think my Fiesta has more pickup.
What transmission is it?
480.
Okay. Whose controller are you using?
Atomic. MSD's Atomic. The sail panel windows work pretty good. I'm calling that my AC.
That is AC. The faster you go, the cooler it gets.
Exactly. We're about 450 miles into our week-long drive in the Week to Wicked Chevelle. And first leg went pretty good. We got our dyno done, and we're here at Hot Rods by Dean, and they're doing us a favor, just kind of taking a look at the car, giving it a once-over, checking the fluids, fixing a few little teething problems that popped up during the drive. Dean, can you tell us a little bit about what you're looking for, what we found here?
Yeah, we do safety inspections on a lot of cars. We're glad to have you guys stop in. A beautiful Chevelle here that you guys put together, and we just checked over the suspension, nut and bolt check everything. We checked motor mounts, all suspension components, safety issues, majorly make sure everything, and we didn't find anything wrong other than a little fuel leak, which you had mentioned on the way over.
The guys did a great job here. We really appreciate them letting us stop by and just making sure that we're not going to have any issues on the rest of the drive.
How's it handle off-road?
It's a little stiff, but we're going slow, and the car's actually dealing with the rocks pretty well. We're not doing anything stupid. We're on a graded road, but not a paved road. But we really kind of pushed this thing. We were, what would you say, like 10 miles into the Arizona desert here?
At least.
And in a car we built 5 days ago. We're turning south toward Tucson, and we're gonna make a pass in the drag strip and maybe shake the dirt out first, because they might yell at me if I get their track dirty, and see how fast this thing goes. Arizona is one continuous traffic circle.
How's it look?
We could use a little bit more. Did you pack the funnel?
Nope.
All right, let's go find a funnel.
We need a funnel. Put some trans fluid in.
Not so much party time.
Not so much party time.
Dollar time.
Money saving time. Fill her up.
All right. Back on our way to Tucson. passes in the car. First pass was at 1376, just real gentle, taking it down the track for the first time just to see if everything was working. Second pass, we hit it a little bit harder, and it didn't work quite well. It didn't shift right. I had to let off the throttle to get the car to shift, and we went a lot slower, 14s. And then coming back down the return road, I flipped the lights on to check the gauges, and oil pressure was dropping. So we killed the car. We're just gonna check it out, make sure everything's okay. It's a CAN bus style gauge, so it could be an electronic problem, a wire got cut or burned or something. So we're gonna put a manual gauge on it and actually verify that the motor has oil. So we've got a little bit of work to do before we can make another pass with this thing.
We'll fire it one more time. We have oil up here.
Okay.
And let me see how much oil we have coming out. And then meanwhile, I want to check the training fluid too. So give me a good 10 seconds to check for oil and check the fluid before you shut it off.
10-4.
I don't want to run it that long, but yeah, go ahead and do that. Ready?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. All right, kill it. Kill it. Yeah, you got no oil pressure. What'd it come up to, Nate?
30. It's not enough. It's not enough to run a motor, especially not enough to run a motor hard.
In my opinion, 15, 18, and when he revved it, that was 3,500 RPM. It only jumped to 35 to 40 range, and that's, in my opinion, that's not acceptable. I'd say let it cool. Let's let it cool for like a half an hour and try it again. We'll leave the gauge on it, and if it comes up past where I saw it before,
Put some thicker oil in it.
we'll drain the oil. I have lots of oil back there. Okay. The only thing I don't have is a filter. I have a filter cutter. We can cut it.
Check it out.
I believe there might be a 24-hour AutoZone around here somewhere. We can go get him a new filter. Yeah. And but yeah, we'll give it a half an hour and we'll see what happens. No problem, buddy.
All right,
no problem.
let's do this. What are you seeing on your gauge? Same? Has
40,
it changed?
42.
So
it
hasn't changed from what it was? Okay. So something's up.
If it was me, I mean, if it was me, I would just load it up and take it home. If it was me,
No,
I mean,
I agree.
Because we might be, it might be hot and it might be okay, but rather than hurt a very expensive motor,
It's holding heat for a long time.
yeah. Well, heat in oil, when your oil temperature rises, there's something wrong. Yeah. Go ahead and hit the light so I can watch and see what it's doing.
They're cool gauges.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go down.
Yeah, just go down like you're driving it normally. You can take it up to about 65, but just hit it.
We're at 10 pounds.
It's maintaining. Let's just change the oil in the morning and see what it comes of it.
Sounds good.
We'll cut the filter open at the same time.
Sounds good.
So if you want, what we could do is pull it around, and we'll just pull it right up inside of my shop, and I'll park my car somewhere else.
Just tell me where to go. We made a couple test hits down the drag strip. The car was reporting some low oil pressure, lower than we'd really like to see. So the guys at Tucson Dragway are really, really cool guys. They're letting us keep the car here overnight. We're gonna put it up on the lift in the morning, drain the oil, cut the filter open, just kind of check some things out. It's a new motor, we're going easy on it, we don't wanna hurt it. So we'll examine the oil, make sure there's no shavings, make sure everything's right. And then once we're sure everything's okay, we're gonna go out and we're gonna make another test hit.
See what happens. Try to go pass this morning, you think?
Fingers crossed, if we can figure out the oil pressure issue, we'll make a pass. Hopefully it'll be a much better number than yesterday. We got a beat on why the transmission wasn't shifting right. I was up pretty late doing my research thing, trying to figure out what we did wrong, and it looks like the RPM signal from the computer to the transmission is the wrong type of signal, but we can pull it from a coil. I can run that wire in like 10 minutes and the car should shift like it is supposed to. So we got a little bit of work to do, but hopefully this thing makes a number and we get to go home.
see all that gold dust coming down?
Yep.
That's not good.
I'd take it all the way off. Let's cut it and see what
Well,
we got.
yeah, I am. I got the filter cut already. I always like seeing what comes out first, you know?
Ooh, that's not good.
No, no sir. Last night we made a test pass and we hurt the motor. We lost oil pressure, we found some shavings in the oil. We talked to Blueprint and they said that no good, so we gotta do something. We're not ready to throw in the towel yet. We're gonna lift the motor. I've got Nate Berger here from Tucson Performance Race Shop, and we're gonna get this thing out. We're gonna take a look at the bearings. If the crank's not scored, we're gonna roll new bearings in it, and hopefully we'll make a pass before night. Okay, so what dealership is it? I'll call and see if we have bearings.
Watson Chevy?
Watson Chevy?
Yeah, see look how much metal's gone through this. See all that delamination?
Yeah.
That's
so
all
this
metal.
is what it should, not what it should look like, but you can see this bearing is silver still, which means it still has Babbitt material on it. Those bearings, the Babbitt is burned. They've gotten so hot and they've spun around so many times. So we pulled it out. We thought we could save it. We hoped we could roll some new bearings in, but unfortunately the block's too damaged and we're not going to be able to roll a new bearing in to put it back on the track. We knew building a car in 5 days and road tripping it through the Arizona desert would be hard. Turns out, it's harder than we thought. In 1 week, we tore the Chevelle down to a bare shell and changed everything. We didn't sleep, we had way too much caffeine, and we wrenched. By the end of it, there wasn't a single bolt in the car that remained unturned. We built something we were all proud of. But anyone who's ever built a project car knows that sometimes things just go wrong. And that's exactly what this was, a project. There were no scripts and no fictional timeline. This was real. We may have had to cut the last leg of our adventure short this time, but don't worry, we'll be back.